Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. It is Saturday, July. I guess it's actually Sunday the 21st now. Saturday night, Sunday morning, whatever you want to call it. I'll roll with Saturday night, so we'll call it the 20th. 2 something in the morning, I don't know. This has been a long time coming, actually not too long, but as mentioned here lately, Twitter and the last couple of videos, just been real busy, and that's one of the reasons that I did this second round of Castaways, Newlanders on a 2-week base. That's actually what I'm going to do again, just to kind of cover for things. As I attempt to get caught up, I'll try to get back to like the 1-week time frame. That said, we should have some good matchups for this coming round. That said, this was round 2 of our second half of this, if you will. First time around, of course, we did Castaways versus Newlanders. Essentially, that would have been Jet-Vac versus Wham-Shell, etc. That went over well. I had a poll up, kind of sought some feedback on if people were interested in seeing Castaways, Newlanders as part 2. The answer was yes, so that's where we are now. Once this wraps up, a couple more rounds, we will actually then go in, seed the tournament, actually have an elimination type deal where we'll have one person emerge victoriously. So, that said, again, the way this works, right-hand side of the blog, oneofwisdom.com, got these polls. You simply come in, you vote for your favorite character, basically, not battle mode, who would win, not, Sunburn would crush Warnado in battle mode, but Warnado's pose is better. It's literally everything. So if you think Sunburn would slaughter Warnado in battle mode, but you like Warnado's pose better, you enjoy playing the game with him better, and you liked his upgrade paths better, you would vote for Warnado. So again, keep it simple, 2 words or so. You vote for your favorite character. So that's really what it comes down to. Again, it's not just, battle mode, Sunburn would take him. It's your favorite character. So if you're new to this, that's what we're doing, right-hand side of the blog. Just below the Twitter feed, you'll find the new polls. You can get involved there. But again, to recap round 2, which closed last Friday night, Warnado came in undefeated in the Newlanders tournament, as did, Sunburn actually came in 0-1. Against the Newlanders, they both did very well. 5-3 for Warnado, 6-2 for Sunburn, and then 1-0 for Warnado against his fellow Castaways, 0-1 for Sunburn. Do the math, that basically makes them both 6-3 overall. So, interesting match right here. This was actually the closest one we had. If you recall, I said I thought this one would be pretty close, very close. Had a total of 51 votes. As it panned out, what you did, you had Sunburn with 26. Doing the math from 51, that means Warnado had 25. That means Sunburn literally just edged him out. We had a couple with 52, some with 54. Could have been a case, maybe these are like 2 of those people's favorite characters. They couldn't decide. Like I said, though, every vote matters. This is a perfect example. 2 more votes, Warnado takes it. 1 more vote, he wins. So keep that in mind. If you vote early on and you're kind of on the fence on one, like say these are your number 1 and 2 Skylanders of all time, and you can't make up your mind which one, you might monitor it, and in the event that it, getting down to like the final few minutes or hour of voting, it's 1 or 2 votes apart, it might be worth your while to cast it, and just go ahead and pick one. Otherwise, it'll just pan out like it pans out. That's it. In the results video, I actually tell you who I would take, and I would have to go with Warnado. Again, SSA, he was my most anticipated Skylander. Still a big fan of his. I just, I kind of felt like he could have had a little bit more. The good news is, in Swap Force, we got that leak. If you haven't seen that video, I suggest you check it out. It'll be in recent uploads. You can find it on the blog. But there's going to be a light core pose of Warnado that should, in theory, mean we'll see a regular pose. So I'm very excited about that. Mainly because it means he, assuming we get that Series 2 standard non-light core pose, should have a Wow Pow. I really wish they just add a Wow Pow to the light core. I'm going to try to stress that. But anyway, big hope. Alright, so the batteries died. But, again, that's what I would have done. And again, I'm looking forward to Tornado coming back. I'm hoping that he gets a Wow Pal. Had someone mention, they thought they might have light cores without the standard counterpart pose. We haven't seen that yet. Obviously, in Swap Force, we're not 100% sure what they'll do. I do know Star Strike, brand new character. She'll have the standard and light core pose. I would assume that would mean we'd see it, and I'm hopeful that it is awesome. That said, I would give Tornado the edge. Number one is his awesome pose. Sunburn's is actually really good too. I do like Sunburn. He has some unique elements. But again, for me personally, a turtle and a tornado just resonates very well. It would be close, but I would personally give the edge to Tornado. Next matchup, didn't think this one would be quite as close. Camo, who comes in number 1 overall, 8-0 against the Newlanders, currently 1-0 against his Castaway brethren. Going up against Voodoo, actually did fairly well against the Castaways, 3-5, 0-1 here against the Castaway. 3-5 against Newlanders, 0-1 Castaways. This one had a total of 52 votes. It was a plus 22 margin of victory. You can probably guess what happened. Camo remains on top, elevates himself 8-0, 2-0. Voodoo, meanwhile, falls to 3-5, 0-2. Me personally, while I do like Voodoo, and by the way, thanks to that leak, we can assume he is coming back. I would have to take Camo as well. Unique character. Again, both poses are actually pretty good, but overall, I'd have to give the nod to Camo. Next matchup, and I thought this one was going to be pretty interesting. We have Boomer, the lovable loser, coming in 5-3, 1-0, actually doing very well in this thing. He's slowly over time picked up more and more respect. Going up against Ghost Roaster. Another one, I feel like he started out relatively slow, obviously not at the point Boomer was. Now he is very well respected. Many people consider him their favorite. 5-3, 1-0 Boomer. Ghost Roaster comes in almost perfect. 7-1 against the Newlanders. Currently 1-0 against Castaways. 50 votes exactly in this one. Plus 10 margin of victory. The win went to Ghost Roaster. Can't say I'm shocked there, but Boomer did perform admirably well. This was by no means a blowout. Personally, again, this is a close one. Again, Boomer is a lot of fun, but I would have to give the slight edge to Ghost Roaster. One of my initial favorites. Again, he was my first character to hit level 10 in SSA, if that tells you anything. Big fan of Skullmaster, and overall, I just feel like I'd have to give him a slight advantage over Boomer. Our next match, which I thought this one might be fairly close as well, Wham-Shell, still maintaining good popularity. I feel in part because he's hard to find. Comes in 7-1, 0-1, pretty respectable mark. Going up against Earth Element's Dino-Rang, who comes in with a mark of 5-3 and 0-1 against his fellow Castaways. This one also exactly 50 votes. This one was very, very close. Again, that one battle we had with 54 votes. If one of these guys would have had 4 more, it would have been in a tie. That tells you how close this one is. I guess this was our second tightest race. Wham-Shell came in 27 votes. Dino-Rang 23. Me personally, no contest. Have to disagree with everyone. I would take Dino-Rang, no doubt in my mind. Camo Voodoo, I'm solid on that one. This one, just the same level of, consensus in my personal opinion. But again, like I said, a lot of people love Wham-Shell. A lot of people, just because of his really hard to come by stature, kind of hold him in high regards. But personally, for me, Dino-Rang really not a contest. That said, Wham-Shell continues to perform well. He will bump up, maintain his tie with Ghost Roaster, if you will. Moving on now, that's basically it in Castaway Land. We're actually going to venture into our Newlander battles. We begin, Air Element Jet-Vac comes in 1-7 against the Castaways, 0-1 against his Newlanders. Hot Dog comes in, of course, on fire. best performing Newlander, if you will. 6-2 against the Castaways, very respectable. Currently undefeated against the Newlanders. This one wasn't close. Plus, 26, I believe? Margin of victory. You can probably guess how it panned out. Jet-Vac 14 votes, and Hot Dog turned up the heat a little too high. He wound up with 40. This actually, interestingly enough, had our most votes at 54. Obviously, a lot of that might have to do with Hot Dog just being insanely popular, or maybe, I don't really know because it's not close, so it wouldn't generate extra interest. But, you know, it is what it is. Me personally, who would I take in this matchup? Gonna have to go against the gradient here, and Jet-Vac basically shoots down Hot Dog. Why do I think that? Well, I do like Hot Dog and appreciate him. To me, Jet-Vac, number one, it's a great pose. Number two, I really enjoy his upgrades. I think he's a pretty decent character at this point in time, the way this is going. Might have to say underappreciated, not quite sure why. I kind of have to agree with people that did the starter packs and stuck him in there. I think he was a great choice. But that said, for me, one of the things that I like best about him kind of ties in with Warnado and Terrafin and some of my other favorites. Very unique. He's got the suction gun. There's really no other Skylander with something like that. And to me, it's oftentimes unique things, provided they're functional and I enjoy them, that actually make the difference. So I'd have to go with the minority of 14 of you, and I would personally take Jet-Vac. Next matchup. Again, this was one I'm sure 90% of you had pretty well figured out. Shroom Boom comes in exact same mark as Jet-Vac, 1-7 against the Castaways, 0-1 against his fellow Newlanders. He finds himself in a very difficult position against the very fun Pop Fizz, who comes in 5-3, 1-0. This one had 52 votes. It was a plus 20 margin of victory. Shroom Boom had 16, and that means Pop Fizz had 36. Pop Fizz takes the win in what y'all voted for. Me personally, you know, I have to say, I feel like if you actually did pit these two against one another, Shroom Boom, I think he could take him pretty easy in a skilled player's hands. That said, wants you to factor everything in: the pose, how well you like playing him, upgrade paths, etc. I would have to go with Pop Fizz as well. Shroom Boom, if his upgrade path would have been like Zook, you know, where the mushrooms didn't detonate when you shoot over them, I realize they're supposed to, but I have to hold that against him. And as such, Pop Fizz would take the cake here. Next matchup, again, this string of Newlander battles wasn't exactly the most exciting. They were all fairly predictable. Sprocket comes in 1-7, 0-1. Fright Rider, meanwhile, rides in a respectable mark, at least for the Newlanders, 3-5 against the Castaways, and 0-1 against his fellow Newlanders. I think I dubbed this one the biggest blowout, and that is the case. It was a plus 31 margin of victory. Interestingly, it was also our lowest total at 49. Which is kind of interesting because Jet-Vac Hot Dog had 54. It was the most voted. It was also a pretty big blowout. Wait, which one? 21 and 20. Okay, I guess that was the biggest blowout. This one was close, though. No, this was the biggest blowout. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong. Plus 31 right here, but it was 26 on Jet-Vac Hot Dog. So that's why it was, to me, an issue. I'm assuming that the most votes came just because there's a ton of Hot Dog fans or something, which probably means there's going to be dislikes on this video because I picked Jet-Vac. But again, it is what it is. I want you to take your favorite. If we all like the same thing, it wouldn't be fun. There wouldn't be chocolate ice cream in the world. That said, this for me, really no contest. The way y'all voted, Sprocket with 9. She was taken down by Fright and Ryder. Make a nice combo there. They had a total of 40 votes. Absolutely slaughtered her. I would have to agree. To me, you know, Fright Rider, got to give him that. The pose, just the fact that it's Fright with Ryder up top. That's something totally unique amongst the Skylanders. Sprocket's pulls actually isn't too bad. She, again, like Boomer, I feel like if you do upgrade her, you'll actually appreciate her. But Fright Rider's a lot of fun to play with, a lot of unique elements. And overall, me personally, got to give him the nod right here. Next and final matchup. This one came in chill. She is still ice cold. 0-8 against the Castaways, which that's not necessarily a bad thing. Some of the Castaways, as you know, are incredible Skylanders. 0-1, not shockingly, against her fellow Newlanders. Flashwing, who glides in 1-7 against the Castaways, 1-0 currently undefeated against her fellow Newlanders. For me, and I think I mentioned this in the video, it's been a while, pretty sure I did. I didn't necessarily think it would be close, but I feel like this would actually be a really good match. Flashwing is essentially, in my opinion, pretty, an offensive type character. She's got the projectile attacks going. She's got super spinner going. Chill, obviously you've got the shield, chop-chop-esque. You're thinking that's correct. She's got the ice wall like Slam Bam. In theory, again, if there was a single-player battle mode, I'd record all this for you. This would be a lot more exciting. I still get people that come into this and be like, oh, you didn't record it. And it's like, yeah, I can't. It would literally be turn versus turn, me versus me, and I would always defeat myself. And that's pretty lame, and no one really cares to see it. That said, the way y'all pan this out, plus 18 margin of victory, essentially just slightly over doubling up the vote count. Chill, 16 votes. That means Flashwing, Super Shard, Super Spinner, whatever you took, takes the cake. 34-16 was your final vote tally. I can't argue with that, but I do have to say, I think Chill would be a formidable match for her in battle mode. Story mode, as far as their gameplay and upgrades go, I personally like both of them. Flashwing is an absolute beast. What I like about Chill, again, kind of like Jet-Vac, she's got some pretty unique stuff going. It's not necessarily standalone. You see other characters with similar things, but it is very rare. That makes it unique, makes her interesting and intriguing to me. This is one of those things, my opinion may change day to day. Again, I can't argue with Flashwing. I would probably take Flashwing, but it would be like, literally just whimsical. I could change tomorrow. I could just as easily defend my decision if I were to say I'd taken Chill here. That's how close these are, too, to me. I'd actually consider this one closer than Sunburn Tornado in my own personal mind. This, to me, actually is the tightest one on the board in terms of my personal decision. I'm not just doing that because I feel sorry for Chill. I actually really do think she's a great character. I will agree and concede her light core was horrible and left a lot to be desired. But very unique, a lot of fun to play with. And again, it really comes down to your personal preference and play style. I think Flashwing would suit people better, in terms of just picking her up, upgrading her, and cleaning the screen. Chill, if you take the time and kind of get used to her, moves and upgrades. Very effective and efficient Skylander. That said, I will go ahead and, go with the majority here. I'll take Flashwing. That means she is up to 2-0 against her fellow Newlanders, doing quite well. As mentioned, something had to give here, and looks like that's what it's going to be. That said, that wraps it up. That was round 2, if you will, of the second half of our Castaways versus Newlanders. Essentially, where second half means Castaways taking on Castaways, Newlanders taking on Newlanders. We'll come back here to introduce the round 3 matches, and I think we should have some pretty good ones in this one, particularly again amongst the Castaways. Newlander side of the ball, I'm trying to picture what we'll have. I think they're going to get better. We've got so many of them. Jet-Vac, Sprocket, Flashwing, Chill kind of down there, bottom. Shroom Boom sort of down there as bottom dwellers. When they start to match up, I think something's got to give, in other words, so Some of them are going to bump up. They could wind up dead heat again, but it should be interesting. It should be close, and that makes it more fun for all of us. Again, big thanks to everyone who voted. I sure appreciate it. Main thing is, again, another little outlet with the Skylanders to have fun, something different and offbeat to do. Keeps everybody involved, like I always say. If you're like me and you would have given the nod to Warnado, or you want to gripe at people for not voting for him 2 more times, etc., feel free to leave comments on YouTube, the blog, whatever works for you, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. Feel free to come in, put who you thought should have won, what you think of the results, anything you want to post. But like I said, I'll come back, I'll record the round 3 matches, and we will see how that stacks up. But again, thanks for watching. The polls can be found right hand side of the blog, oneofwisdom.com. You can scroll down, it'll be right below the Twitter feed. You will essentially begin with Warnado, and then we'll end 4 of the Newlanders, wrapping things up. So make sure, if you do vote, to vote in all of them. Spread the word, tell your friends, pull for your favorites, and like I always say, the more people we get involved, the better. But again, thanks for watching, thanks for voting, and we will catch you back here shortly.